Hi everyone, Charlene Amanoff here. Parshat Chayei Sara talks about V'Avraham Zaken Baba Yamim. Avraham was old, he came with his days. What does it mean, Baba Yamim? He came with his days. Chazal teach us something extraordinary. Avraham Avinu was so careful to make sure to seize every moment of every day that when he arrived in Shemayim, he was able to say, I took advantage of every opportunity that came my way. I seized every day. I did as many mitzvot as I can. So he came with the value and the worth of all of his days protecting him, which reminds me of an amazing story I once heard. There was a world-renowned Jewish doctor who wasn't always frum. And one time he was posed a very interesting question. Someone asked him, Doctor, what made you decide to become religious? And this doctor said, it's an excellent story and I've never shared that with anyone before. The doctor explained that he had a patient who was very, very sick. And this patient was an Orthodox Jewish man. And the doctor had an extremely hard time breaking the news to this patient that he doesn't have much longer to live. His situation was bleak, his prognosis was really terrible. He only had days, possibly weeks left to live. So the doctor calls the patient into his room and he begins to tell him about his condition and how poorly it's progressing. And finally the doctor has to muster up the courage to tell this patient he's terminal and he only has a few weeks left to live. And this man crumbles to the floor and the patient is on the floor and he's crying and he's sobbing. And the doctor feels so bad that the doctor says, but there is one small procedure that I can do, but it's an extremely painful procedure. It's extremely dangerous and it's not totally effective. And even if it is, it's only going to prolong your life by up to 4 months. So this man is thinking to himself, I can't make this decision on my own. I need to speak to Rav Moshe Feinstein. So he tells the doctor, I can't decide right now. I need to speak to a rabbi, Rabbi Moshe Feinstein. And this doctor says, you're going to have a rabbi give you medical advice? And this man says, yes. So the doctor was intrigued. He said, well, can I come along for the meeting? So he says, sure. The doctor and the patient both go to Rav Moshe Feinstein and they sit in front of the Rav. And the doctor is explaining from a medical perspective just how bad the prognosis is. And the man is sitting there and he says to the Rav, what does the Rav say? Should we just let nature run its course and he can die comfortably and peacefully in a couple of weeks? Or should they try to prolong his life through this extremely painful and dangerous procedure up to 4 months? And first, Rav Moshe Feinstein sobbed uncontrollably for 20 minutes. And this doctor says he's never seen a person, a giant of a man, crumble alongside someone else who had crumbled before. He cried for 20 minutes. And then when he finished crying, he looked at them both and said, I can't decide this right now. I need to think about it overnight. Let's reconvene tomorrow. So the doctor and his patient went back to Rabbi Moshe Feinstein the following day. And the Rav looked the doctor in the eye and he said, do the procedure. Do the procedure. Prolong his life. And the doctor started to protest. Wait, no, doctor, no, Rabbi, I'm the doctor. I know that this is not a smart idea. It's very painful, it's very dangerous, it's not that effective, and it's only going to prolong his life maybe 4 more months. And the Rav said, right. Do you know how many amens he can make in those 4 months? And do you know that every time he makes an amen, he says the word amen, he's creating an angel that will go and fight for him in heaven when the day comes. So you prolong his life because he has a lot more amens that he needs to make, and he has a lot more angels that need to fight for him. And as much as the doctor resisted and protested, of course he agreed. Sure enough, the procedure was complete and this man went on to live many, many, many more years in perfect health. So this is the perfect example of what we need to do in order to say, Ba Bayamim. We are seizing every moment of every day. Don't waste any opportunity to do a mitzvah, make a bracha, to say amen, to help a fellow Jew in need, to be noseh be'ol im chavero, to carry the pain of somebody else. Just like Avraham Avinu, let us all be able to live long and to say Ba Bayamim. Shabbat Shalom.